I hate where artistic mediums are going following the introduction of NFTs, especially with gaming and how companies seem to be going on this gold rush to get in on a scheme that offers absolutely nothing. NFTs are what? A digital receipt that use blockchain technology that claims you own a piece of digital media that can easily be replicated. It's not actually unique, but you got the receipt, so I guess you own it, or I don't know. It's dumb. And the environmental impact that NFTs are having because it uses blockchain technology, and as this technology kind of gets implemented en masse, the effect on the environment is worsened, and NFTs offer literally nothing except for a string of digital code that says you own a set of pixels arranged a certain way, for visual art and whatnot. And with games, they're trying to sell in-game items as NFTs that you uniquely own, and it's just getting so out of hand. With Ubisoft having recently released their latest NFT scheme, Stalker 2 recently announced their metaverse with metahuman NFTs. Stan Lee's account just tweeted NFTs that exploit essentially a dead man's legacy. Same with Bob Ross. I mean, it's just getting so out of hand. But I'll get to that stuff maybe in a later video. For today, I want to talk about Peter Molyneux. On one hand, you've got the man who early in his career actually made some pretty compelling games. Populous, I remember, was awesome. Dungeon Keeper, Black and White, and Fable. With Fable in particular, obviously there were a lot of promises made that weren't delivered on. Infamously, Peter Molyneux said you could plant a seed for a tree, and over time, as you play through the game, that tree will grow. That's just like one of many, many examples. But at least these games were fun. But as of late, Peter Molyneux has been making promises that are far out there, and he's been unable to deliver. And it's gotten to the point where this man might as well be a grifter, a con artist, even if he himself doesn't know that he is, or he himself isn't intending to be that. It's kind of what he's become, because at the end of the day, the consequences of his actions has led to many people being disappointed and many people being lied to while money is exchanged. Just recall what happened with Godus, a Kickstarter project that got tied into this other project that Peter Molyneux released, the infamous Curiosity, where it was essentially you tapping away at this cube, and the last person to tap and reach the center would be promised riches and that their life would be changed and whatnot. This is what Peter Molyneux said back then. Let me play this video for you. The video is titled Curiosity, What's Inside the Cube Winner video. And this was published back in May of 2013. Here's what Peter Molyneux promised.
What is in the center is something that only we can grant. And it is the ability to be a digital God. We are making a game called Godus. The whole game is about being a god to your followers. You, the person who would reach the center, will be the god of all people that are playing Godus. And, here's the life-changing bit, you will share in the success of the product. Every time people spend money on Godus, you will get a small piece of that pie.
Suffice to say that this video has aged worse than milk. As for the winner, well, that was Brian Henderson, a Scottish teenager who didn't know all that much about Molyneux before taking home the grand prize. Not long after Curiosity ended, Molyneux flew Henderson out to the 22 Cans office, where he got a chance to play an early version of Godus and see what ruling the universe would be like. Henderson said in an email, "I'm glad I won. Not a lot has happened, and not a lot would happen, but the game isn't finished yet. When it is, that's when I play my part, being the god of gods." So Henderson's life hasn't changed all that much, but there's still time about that. And I bring all this up because before we get to the NFT part, I want you to know the kind of man that Peter Molyneux is. Peter Molyneux said in this Kotaku interview, "Is it life-changing? Well, Brian's life has been changed." It wasn't long before it became apparent that Godus would not be able to deliver on many of its feature promises, and it would not be able to deliver on the promise of changing Brian's life. This article from February 2015, whose headline reads, "Oh Godus, what the hell is going on?" reported on how the development team currently working on the game have recently acknowledged that they simply can't see us delivering all the features promised on the Kickstarter page. And then Godus just stopped receiving updates, communications ceased, and so headlines like this cropped up: "Is Godus dead?" reporting that developer 22 Cans has moved over almost entirely to the studio's next game, The Trail. And then there's this fantastic article by Eurogamer published on May of 2019 titled "The God Who Peter Molyneux Forgot," detailing how Brian was screwed over, how he was treated like a king in the initial days of his winning this grand prize, but eventually communications dried up. It was apparent that they were just ignoring Brian, and eventually this all kind of faded away. And Brian, understandably, felt duped, being told that his life had been changed, and then nothing ended up happening anyway. And Peter Molyneux didn't do the courtesy of reaching out and somehow try to make it up to him. It's a disaster, and this is the kind of man Peter Molyneux is. He has great ideas and visions and ambitions, but his inability to deliver has been woefully apparent. There's even that one infamous interview between Rock Paper Shotgun and Peter Molyneux where Rock Paper Shotgun came out swinging with the question, "Do you think you're a pathological liar?" I know it's a harsh question, but it seems an important question to ask because there do seem to be lots and lots of lies piling up, which, yeah, absolutely true. But here's Peter Molyneux's response: "I'm not aware of a single lie, actually." So I guess he forgot about the God he abandoned. So this is Peter Molyneux's current legacy, and with all that in mind, let's take a look at his latest project as detailed here in this blog post whose headline reads, "Legacy. First land sale starts tomorrow." Launching in 2022, this game is going to be innovative and push the boundaries of blockchain gaming. That's right, this whole game is structured around NFTs. The commercial use of NFTs on its own is considered a grift, and then you've got a man who's infamous for grifting, whether intentionally or not, being irrelevant. He still grifted quite a bit, now coming in and taking advantage of this grifting technology. This is a game where apparently a creative entrepreneur's dreams come true, an opportunity for players to build their own business, designing their own products from a huge array of possibilities as they create a business empire, the likes of which the world has never seen. There it is again, the hyperbole about how he's going to change the world. He's promised this time and again. And in this game, there are going to be an army of workers that will transform your designs into fully fleshed products ready for market through NFTs that can then be traded so that you can vie for dominance on the open market with an array of in-game competitions and events that will award leaderboard positions and big prizes. And then scrolling further down, you can really see how this isn't really a video game. It's just a Ponzi scheme, a business, quote-unquote, disguised as a game that's meant to empower players and all the usual boilerplate BS. Legacy and blockchain gaming. Owning a land NFT allows you to start your own in-game blockchain business association in Legacy. So to even start playing the game, you have to buy land NFT, which is just in-game content locked behind this receipt that says you own this land that you really don't own. It's just zeros and ones. You'll be able to play Legacy while earning and owning your gameplay. What does that even mean, owning your gameplay? Remember when games were about escaping? When it was about not wanting to deal with real-life economy and real-life stuff, just escape to this world? What makes gaming a great form of escapism is that your actions in a video game don't have any real-life consequences. But with this, there are real financial implications. You are going to be spending money. You are going to be risking your real hard-earned money. So this is no longer escaping. This is just life in digital form, or digital schemes that are being presented as fictional video games. The statement continues, crucially, as a business association owner, you'll have access to legacy keys, these items that can be lent to other people who want to start an in-game business and legacy, making them your in-game business partners. Like, God, you need a freaking economy major at this point to play video games with these kinds of schemes seeping their way in. This game specifically uses the Ethereum blockchain technology, which is among those that don't even claim to be environmentally friendly. And with NFTs, environmentally friendly is just such an oxymoron. The environmental impact of blockchain technology cannot be understated. They draw huge amounts of energy, and therefore the emissions just increase significantly, especially as this is adopted more and more and more. And this is energy spent on things that are literally nothing. You're buying basically nothing. You're buying a digital receipt for something that isn't really unique, that can easily be copied and pasted. It's not like you're buying something physical, like a physical painting that the original artist actually touched. Every brushstroke was from the original artist and cannot truly ever be replicated one-to-one. You can make a close copy of it, but can never truly be replicated. That gives a physical product a unique identifier because it's literally unique. A freaking piece of digital art, buying the NFT for that, I mean, it's a scam. And then here are the disgusting selling points for this game. Legacy is a game that leverages player ownership, play to earn. I mean, that's what we do for our jobs. We're playing this game of life in order to earn money to make a living. And that's what this is becoming. There's also terms like lend to earn, highly functional NFTs, and a truly unique community-driven economy. And more Peter Molyneux BS. Legacy is here to push the boundaries of blockchain gaming beyond your wildest dreams. Not only are NFTs heavily criticized, as Kotaku reported here, for the horrible amount of e-waste created by digital mining facilities, the continued strain miners have put on the chip shortage, and of course the fact that all energy blockchains eat up is potentially accelerating global warming and is extremely wasteful. And then as the gamer highlighted here in an article whose headline reads, games like Peter Molyneux's new blockchain business sim are leading the industry down a very dark path, which states, between their negative impact on the environment, widespread cases of art theft, claims of money laundering, and being a goldmine for scammers, NFTs are just bad news overall, and Peter Molyneux should really know better. Aside from all that, there's also the fact that NFTs are just a buzzword because their functionality are not unique. The ability to create and sell digital goods in games or virtual worlds already exists and has for years without the world-burning technology. We're literally wasting energy and having a negative environmental impact and paving the road for art being stolen and for all of these schemes to happen over something we can already do with less harmful technology. But this is a man who would not know better based on his track record. I mean, just look at some of the tweets he sent out on October of 2021. Imagine a puzzle game where you have to draw clues all over your own body with no erasing or undo. At the end, your character becomes an NFT that can be sold. And then more recently on December 11th, 2021, no doubt in reference to his latest NFT endeavor, I'm about to redefine a new genre of game that has yet to be defined. This guy has such a severe lack of self-awareness in how he presents himself and in his inability to deliver on all of his grand world-changing promises. And then he makes promises of how there's going to be this amazing narrative story implemented which adapts itself to what you're doing in your town in reference to legacy, what's going on in the bigger ecosystem, and you know the tragedies or successes that your business has. And here's a real kicker. Molyneux spotlights the moral choices that will be involved in this game. There are moral choices, and the narrative storyline really picks at those moral choices. So, you know, what sort of business are you going to run? Are you going to be a really nice boss, or are you going to worry about the environment? Says the guy who is negatively affecting the environment by pushing for blockchain NFT games in order to make a profit and try to sell this as the greatest thing since sliced cheese. Says the guy profiting through a technology that has proven more harmful than actually useful. It's bad enough when a normal individual tries to present NFTs like the next big thing, like the next big gold rush. But when a man like Peter Molyneux gets his hands on this technology and tries to exploit this technology, when someone like him is advocating for a technology like this and for a scheme like this, that's when you know to stay as far away from something like this as possible. It's almost unsurprising that Peter Molyneux would immediately jump on this bandwagon, a man just desperately seeking to so-called change the world, but being unable to reflect upon himself, unable to just like take it down a notch and just like make a good game instead of trying to come up with these ideas and trying to take money from people and give them hope for something that will never be, because this is a man of ideas, but not a man of execution. More recently, all he has been able to execute is disappointment, especially when he grifted that one guy, the so-called god, the digital god whose life would be changed, who got screwed over completely. And if you read that Eurogamer article, you'll see just how disappointed that man was, Brian. And this feels like just yet another scheme that Peter Molyneux is going to dip his toes in, and if it doesn't go his way, he'll probably end up abandoning it and then try to claim he never once lied. This is a man willing to leave someone out to dry after promising to change their life. And now he's promising the masses riches and a world-changing game through the implementation of this scam of an NFT technology. Given his history, let me ask you this. How do you think this is going to play out? I mean, I can't predict the future, but NFTs being what they are and Peter Molyneux being who he is, do you really want to trust that through this game, Peter Molyneux will change your life, that he will make you rich, that he will allow you to run a successful business in the form of a video game that really is just another job, except you're selling nothing and buying nothing and trading nothing? Digital goods that can easily be replicated and that ultimately have no real value or no real sort of benefit to your life. And I'm going to keep my eye on this just to see how this develops, whether it somehow ends up picking up traction. And if that happens, man, all hope truly is lost, because if NFTs become commonplace in video games and exploited by these greedy companies, already exploiting all kinds of monetization schemes, microtransactions, loot boxes, battle passes, all kinds of different editions and season passes and whatever. Layer this on top, and man, I'm really going to start losing passion for gaming if this becomes a trend. Hopefully this will be more like, 3D for movies, where companies will try to claim it's the next big thing, but it'll eventually die off, because ultimately NFT technology and blockchain gaming offers nothing to the consumers, to the customers, to the players. It's just yet another opportunity and avenue for corporations and greedy entities to exploit customers. Or at least that's one man's take on all of this. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts and opinions are on Peter Molyneux's latest endeavors with legacy and so-called blockchain gaming, and what you think about the general trend of NFTs and this gold rush to implement them in video games and to sell NFTs across all kinds of artistic mediums. I think this will mark a major degradation of a number of mediums, and this sucks, man. I hate all of this. But that's just me. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.